So to be honest, I don't know how this is gonna start or how I'm even gonna make this sound. But hey my lovely child of the internet. It is I, Multi 126789, other known as Multi-Man. Welcome to what hopefully should be the first ever episode of the podcast. I'm just gonna call it the Unspoken Hyimm podcast. But yeah, hope you guys are having a wonderful January. This should be coming out before the end of this January. I'm recording this on the 25th. I just got off work like less than an hour ago after doing a full night shift. And yeah, I'm gonna just say this is gonna be probably a little bit all over the place, mostly just because I personally did not structure this podcast to be structural. More like these podcasts are going to be like, how do I basically say it? It's going to be like a review of the month, just talking about stuff about the month and basically, dissecting and basically processing stuff for what I did this month in general. And I know that like I said, I'm recording it on the 25th. I wanted to be out before the end of January. Each of them are probably going to happen around the last week of each month, just because that seems a lot more simpler to do, and then it won't take me as long to edit. Also, this podcast is probably only going to be maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Probably only 30 minutes for this first one because I literally should be sleeping right now. But instead, I decided it's a perfect time to make content when you're half awake and half dazed. So, here we are. We're going to do this. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the conversations for today. Depending on what we decide to talk about, it's probably going to be named a certain title. So look forward to that, me editing in the future. Because, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but give me a chance to just figure it out. So yeah, all right. I guess we're going to get started. I don't know how heavily I'm going to edit these podcasts for the channel. Mostly just because I'm like, I want it to be kind of just what it is and not have to do too much editing over the long haul of it. And I do apologize if the audio does sound not like up to standard for most podcasts, but it's just me staring at the computer screen, looking at the WAV files as I talk into the mic, really. I guess we should just recap most of the end of December into this year, I guess, because that's like the biggest thing for me. So how do I start? The end of December into January was a little bit of a scare because changes. A lot of changes were going to happen this year. A lot of changes that I know I needed to make because, long story short, I'm not saying that complacency is a bad thing. Sometimes it's good to be happy and content where you are, but it's only okay if you are actually happy with where you are. Me personally, I will say that last year was a big eye-opener of showing me plenty of things that I do need to change in my life. A lot of things that I want to keep doing because those are good things that I should be doing, and realizing that there were some things that I should get rid of because, genuinely speaking, they don't benefit me in any way, or they don't really enrich my life in a positive way more than it did a negative way. So I kind of went out of my way and just said, it's fine not to have these things. It's time to let go. And I guess it makes sense for the first podcast of this year to be literally mostly about change, Originally, I think I told a lot of you last year, and I'm going to reiterate it again. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Originally, we were supposed to be moving to a new location because of housing problems and issues that arose because of housing prices getting jacked up and people in our immediate vicinity being like, hey, you know what, that would be a smart idea to move out some of our people, sell off our property, make a lot of money off of it, and then they can upcharge the people, and then we can be able to live a little bit off green for a little bit. Needless to say, it is now January the 25th, like I said before. That's not happening now. So if you were wondering if I was still moving, it's not technically happening. Though, to be honest, I'm a little bit sad that it isn't happening, only because I was ready for change and I think it was only mostly because I was very accepting of the change. Because of last year, I won't say it was the worst year. We hit 500 subscribers, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm proud of you guys for helping me get to that point. Because honestly, I think we've had a lot of fun times during the end half of last year. Definitely want to try to keep it up for this year, but also want to do stuff that I personally just more want to do because I have a lot of stuff in the works that I have already ready to like go, like idea wise. It's just I need to sit down and do them. And when I knew that, this move was coming, I basically put a lot of my plans on hold so I didn't have to worry about trying to move and juggle and do all kinds of things all at the same time. But it turns out that they're keeping us for quite a while. So the next major update for like the change, if I'm changing locations for my recordings and doing YouTube and everything, probably won't be updated until maybe June or July, if even then, because like I said, because of legal stuff, you can't really get removed from your place of living unless you want to do full renovations, which would have cost them more than just, sneakily trying to kick us out or find a reason to kick us out. But we're not bad tenants. We've never have been. We've been here for a long time. So needless to say, I'm pretty happy that we get to stay. Though, like I said, most of this year I was hoping for like a lot of big changes, or expecting them, I guess is the better term, because generally speaking, like the move, I think would have been a good change. It would have been a hectic one, but it would have been a good one. I think it's just because change of scenery, change of things, adapting to your new like life and where you live would have been nice. But things sometimes happen for the better or for the worst, and you kind of just go along with it, right? And I guess while we're talking about change, I was thinking about what are my New Year's resolutions for this year, or things that I really, really want to do this year. Which honestly, I'm going to grab on my phone here in a second because I have some good stuff, and I have some stuff that I am willing to buy. So, did I say willing to buy? I meant willing to pry myself into and talk to you guys about. But not anything out of the ordinary, but it's actually just new stuff that I'm just like I want to do. Oh, this is the wrong phone. Sorry, I got two phones, one for me and one for the homies. I got two phones. No, only one of them actually sends out messages. The other one is just there for the internet purposes. Having Discord, having a more modern phone that can actually hook up to Wi-Fi and actually be useful. All that fun stuff. I think it's on the Wi-Fi phone actually, so I'm actually gonna check that real quick. But I'm not going to edit this out, so I'm going to have to keep talking and keeping you interested in the meantime. But, I think every year you should start off with, new year, new change, and new stuff to do. I personally had a lot of things that okay, so basically my little list here, which I don't know if I'm going to show on screen because this is, again, a podcast, but I'm like, I'm thinking about how much I want to even edit this to begin with, so needless to say, I have New Year's new challenges because I have things that I really want to do or challenge myself to do and be consistent at this year that last year kind of threw into a complete tizzy because of stuff that was out of my control. Most of last year was just chaotic because the only thing I had in my control was making the content that I did, and everything else kind of just happened. Like last year, I had the worst year of work I think I've had yet because I literally lost at least, I don't know, 24. No, I think I lost how many hours? 72 plus 72. Like 140 some hours plus, of work because of things that were out of my control because of supply and demand for tires not being there last year, which meant I lost a lot of money that wasn't my fault. It was just, hey, you just get shorted this year. Hope you don't mind that. I'm like, great. I had a year where I needed to deal with my car, had to deal with the fact that I thought we were going to be moving, so I thought I was going to need money to be. It was just a whole thing of just things that were like, I'm trying my best to deal with and cope with all this stuff while also just working and trying to maintain a YouTube channel and, a positive attitude about it. And then I had a fight with somebody that year which luckily got resolved in a peaceful and actually probably more positive manner than I thought it was going to. Shout outs to me being able to reconcile and being able to just do that. Because if not, I would have left that relationship in the dust, I think, because I don't think they would have ever made the first move. But I don't need to talk about that too much because it's already over. It's the past. That's last year. This is this year, right? But like, there's stuff that I definitely miss that I needed to do again this year, which, first, return to the gym. Like, genuinely just return to the gym and exercising, taking care of my health. These, I put them as two separate things because returning to the gym or doing exercises at the gym is something I just want to do in general because it's a good way to socialize and it's a good way to, make communes, connect with people. I'm trying to do that a lot this year and just trying to get back out on the treadmill and the weights and the ellipticals and trying to actually put my best foot forward because since I lost all of that last year because of all kinds of things that basically made me not motivated to do it, other things causing me to stress out and being like, I kind of reverted back to how I was basically as the pandemic happened, which was eating a lot of fast food and not doing anything with my body, which yeah, I'm trying to change that. The beginning of this month has been pretty on and off with doing that, but I'm trying to stay on it somewhat more consistently. At least when I know I feel like I want to do it, I do it. But I just need to start scheduling it more so I can be more natural again, like it was back in 2022. That is something I'm just trying to do. Another thing, I'm like, overall, I want to spend less this year than last year, but so far it's not going so well. I'm like, it's not horrible, mind you. It's not the worst that it's ever been. But I definitely can tell, I'm like, this might be, even though I'm not moving now, it still might be an expensive year. Not as expensive as it could be, but it's still going to be an expensive year because something I probably should have put on here, which I didn't put on here, was have more experience, more life experiences. I actually will type that on there right now while I'm talking to you guys. Have more life experiences. Yeah, because having more life experiences is exactly what I need in my life right now. Like, I'm not saying that I've missed out on everything that life has to offer right now. I'm 26 years old, guys. I'm very old. In the sense that I'm not young now. I'm closer to my 30s than I am my 20s. That's what I mean. I'm not genuinely old because until I get to my retirement plan where I talk about, oh, what am I going to do now that everything's so expensive and my retirement barely covers like 10 years of my life. Okay, I'm sorry. That's a little bit of a rant, but I'm just talking about it. But, I want to go out more and do stuff more. I want to be out in my community doing stuff more instead of limiting myself to just working all the time because I think that was a really negative trait that I ended up having to deal with a lot last year. Even though I had forced time off, it didn't feel like I wanted to go do anything because I couldn't afford to do anything. So using my money and my knowledges and my connections with people, I want to do more stuff. One of the things that I'm really proud of that I did near the end of last year is went to a bar, partied like I was in college, had people actually, be encouraged to do stuff because of me doing and partying like I didn't care, which to be honest, I would go out more often if it wasn't so expensive. And also I would go out more often if I didn't feel like, what's the word? I wouldn't say embarrassed or shy or anything. More just that people in general would be more open to the idea of having fun. Like I said, I'm not going to a bar to find somebody to hook up with and all this other stuff. I'm only there because I love the dance floor and I love showing off as much as I possibly can and also encouraging people to say, hey, enjoy life. I don't know when we're going to have another time to enjoy it. Maybe the night might be the end of the world. Who knows? But the main thing is to enjoy life. And I tell people that all the time in IRL and on stream, life is too short to be worrying and being concerned about what other people think of you. And so when I went to that place that I went to for the bar, I had like literal groups of females saying that they were really happy and they had a lot of fun dancing with me. I had a couple of guys come up to me and actually tell me that I made their night because they actually wanted to have come up and dance with us and some of the other people I went with as well. And even one of the people that I went with who I met for the first time, he was very ecstatic that I showed up and I encouraged him to go and dance because he got to dance with a female as well. And he felt really empowered by the whole ordeal, which is crazy because that's the only kind of like thing overall that I really want for not only just this channel, but like for me as a person. Like, one of the biggest things I guess I struggled with a lot with back when I was in high school is feeling like I hated that I never felt like I belonged to any of my friend groups. It's just that I was kind of just a person who appeared in them. Because like I said, I'm the type of person who I don't mind attention. In fact, I do love it quite a bit, but I don't force people to give me it because of my past, my past with my family and my unfortunate circumstances of how I had to live life basically made it so I felt like I didn't deserve attention or deserve any recognition for stuff. Or if I did, I should be hush about it because who would really care or really want to express that they're proud of me or care? Because most of my life, it was just me just trying to figure stuff out. And if it worked out and somebody liked it, I would be like, oh, that's nice. But most of the time I'd be like, oh, they're probably just saying that to just be nice rather than actually meaning it. Luckily, at least with, I think, when going to that bar that evening last year, I really thought, and I changed my point of view when thinking about stuff of being like, no, it's very important for me to be doing what I'm doing right now. Because even though I think it was the harder path to choose to be myself unabashedly and have people basically be able to see the real me, in the sense where it's like, I drink, I party, I have fun. I don't have to worry about all this other complicated stuff in my life where I think about, oh, well, what about my relationship status? Has that changed? I'm like, not really, but it doesn't mean that I can't have fun and enjoy myself. I shouldn't be punishing myself because I'm not meeting, quote unquote, the norm, the status quo of the norm of what people think that I should live. I should just live for myself and live for the things that I actually believe in. Which is kind of crazy that I had to keep telling myself that throughout most of the end of like getting out of COVID in last year, because it's like I already had the epiphany at the beginning of last year about that and realizing that if I want to actualize the life that I want, I need to realize that the way I'm living it isn't the way to get there. Even now, right now, I'm talking about it and I'm just like, actualization and realization are very powerful tools that if humans use, they can make anything happen. I genuinely believe that. But speaking of things that I really want to actualize this year, hitting 1,000 subscribers is not an unfeasible goal. I just need to really work hard at it. And I do want to work hard at it this year, but I also am trying to focus on my IRL career that I have right now and finding a better work-life balance, because that kind of takes away from some of my creativity and the time I can spend doing that sort of thing. Because like I said, also another goal on my list was making 50 YouTube videos this year. Because last year, I made less than 50 videos. I don't know if you know this, but I have almost 2,000 videos on my channel. Some of them are counted as live streams, but most of them are videos. So to say that last year I basically made the smaller sum of every single year that came before it kind of put me off, because there was a lot of ideas and things I wanted to do that I just ended up doing either because I said, oh, well, it's going to take a long time and I don't have the time, or, oh, it might not be good enough to post, and so why should I even post it? And that was a lot of my mindset last year. Not this year. I'm actually going to buckle down and try to focus on getting stuff done and out of the way and trying to actually experiment to do new things. And a lot of it already stems from stuff that I already started last year. It's just that I want to continue it. The Let's Create, the Why I Love series, once again, talking about all of those series that I have, I can still legitimately do, because I have all the games that I could use to do that. And it would just be talking about stuff that I just like talking about. It's not that hard. It's just I think I had a mental block sometime last year, considering all of my emotions being all haywired and me basically trying to bury them by just streaming and trying to focus on the silver lining, And that's what I'm saying. A lot of last year literally just came down to I knew I was unhappy because I wasn't exercising as well, and I was probably was gaining weight. So I was like, dang, I got to find some way to lose weight. So I just drank water a whole bunch and started skipping out on meals, which don't recommend. Don't do that unless you're trying to at least intermediate fast. But even still, know that you know your limits, please. Again, you got to take care of your body, and if your body's telling you that you won't be able to move if you don't eat something, you should eat something. um I'm not into the heavy dieting phase of only eat bare minimum amount of calories. Would rather just start working harder, start more exercising, go to the gym, take care of my health overall. And that stuff will come naturally. I rather that than the unnatural ways of like dieting pills and all this other stuff, because me personally, I haven't ingested medicine in like over 5 years at this point. Like I take needles and shots. I put on creams and other ointments, but I will not ingest any pills or anything. I refuse unless they absolutely say I will die without them, because I don't take cough medicine. I don't get sick often because I don't take medicine. Because you know what the crazy thing about medicine to me is, at least for me and how my body works, I feel like I feel more sick every time I use any sort of thing to make my body naturally feel less, you know, aware of the fact that I'm currently feeling ill. And then by doing that, it makes my body feel worse because it doesn't feel like it can recover because I'm trying to douse it with all of this stuff. And again, this isn't for everybody. I'm just saying for me personally, as an individual who knows that I don't really use pharmaceuticals for myself. I only buy like Advil and like painkillers for other people because if they need them, I can give them to them. The same with bandages and stuff. But like for myself, no, not for me. And you know what? I think that's 100% okay. Mostly just because I'm just like, a lot of things in life is like, you change along with your body, right? And my body has basically been like, I don't think I've been sick since 2022 when I got sick with COVID that year. And then I haven't been like actually sick in a while. Like I had a few headaches here and there, but mostly that was because I either started binging or too much drinking of pop and not enough water and being like, oh, I'm getting a headache because I'm not doing that again. And then other stuff like overexerting my body or not sleeping properly. Honestly, sleeping should be on my top of my list, but I'm here recording this video after just finishing a complete night shift and not sleeping right now while recording this. So maybe that will be a tomorrow thing. But I want to get back to at least a little bit of normalcy, or at least comfortable normalcy that's scheduled and structured. Unlike how most of last year was, where I was just kind of be like, okay, I guess I'm just doing this now, or okay, we're just doing that. But it's fine. It's fine. I want to eat healthy and start cooking again too, which I'm hoping to start doing this year. But I'm hoping that if I find a new job that pays better or has actually reasonable hours, I can start doing that, because it's hard to make a schedule or a meal plan around 12 hours because most of that time you're not even at home being able to do meal prep. So stuff like that is something I want to do. Get a new graphics card for the PC so I can actually start, I don't know, playing video games on the PC and starting being able to do like multi-streams where I basically stream to Twitch and YouTube. Because to be honest, I've been having more fun streaming on Twitch lately because I have a lot of people and friends and, allies that basically stream on Twitch. So I've been kind of slowly been moving towards trying that this year. Not that I don't want to not stream on YouTube. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I would rather focus this year on YouTube, at least just working on making really good videos rather than streaming a whole bunch like I did last year. But also I want to stream on Twitch because also getting affiliate would be nice and getting some benefits. I know that on YouTube I can start getting those benefits as soon as we hit enough watch hours and as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers. So that's the goal. Those are the major goals for this year. But I mean, these temporary goals is what I'm telling myself that I need to do, but they're not as major as the first couple of ones that we were talking about. Like eating healthy is something I want to do. May not be possible with a given schedule, but I'm going to try. Getting the graphics card costs a lot of money. At least shelling out $1,000 for a good one. Learning a new skill. Basically, when I say learn a new skill, it's like I want to learn something new this year, so I can say that I'm allowing my brain to keep processing. You know what they say: if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. That goes for your brain cells, man. If you don't actively try to challenge yourself or do new things and keep yourself in a tedium, you're gonna lose it. Like my memory, I think is pretty good just because I'm a creative sort of person. So every memory is like a creative blob in my head where I'm like, if I remember a certain thing, I pull it out with like my hands and it stretches like Play-Doh, and then I mold it back to a thing where it makes me remember all the moments in time or a moment around that time that I can remember. So like learning new skills for me is like the same thing where it's like, what do I want to learn for this year? Well, I've been already trying to do certain things, like maybe work on an RPG that I said I was going to do 3 years ago that I was hoping to finish 3 years ago, but I basically started. I wrote a lot of the narrative for the actual game and worked on the characters and what I want to do with the battle system. I just need to start putting it together, which I'll probably start doing streams of soon because maybe that will be what I focus on with YouTube, is just doing streams of that. Or maybe on Twitch, I'll just focus on having streams where I chip away at the game little by little. I think it would be nice to show you guys my creative process of doing that, and it would be nice just to be able to share that as I'm trying to complete it. you know, I also want to stream 500 hours, which I'm like, I don't know where I'm finding the time for all of this, but so far I've been doing pretty good. Honestly, I've been kind of being insane with January streaming as much as I have, both on YouTube and Twitch. I think in Twitch I've been streaming like, I almost streamed 7 days, so I need to do a couple more streams on there so they can be like, oh, you streamed these many times, this much time during the month. Oh, you're so cool. Here's your affiliate. But, also just in general, I just wanted to stream more because last year I felt like there was a gap where I basically streamed, then I didn't stream for a long time, then I streamed, then I didn't stream for a long time. Don't want that to happen again this year, so that's why I wanted to do that. Read more books. Me personally, I love reading now. Since 2022, I have been reading books. Reading books is like the best, I think, idea and thing that I allowed myself to do in 2022, and just said, you know what? I'm so tired of not having something to do at work, and I'm really tired of just focusing and only on video games, so let me read books. I think reading books is very healthy for my mind because it allows me to still work on my empathy, my kindness, my, sincerity, and also understanding of other people. Reading literature and other things from people make me more wanting to involve myself with people, which is also another thing I should be writing here, is just make more connections, which I have been doing online, but I want to do so in real life as well. I've been working towards that little by little recently, which is good because I kind of feel like in the wayside of things, I basically tried to isolate myself last year, and I really want that to change. A lot of this year is just me changing a lot of the bad things that I ended up doing last year when I didn't really mean to, but it just kind of falls back on bad habits of years of me doing that when things aren't going my way. I just say, okay, maybe it's just time for me to just stay alone until I can figure out a solution by myself. Why ask for help from other people, or why bother other people when they clearly don't want me around? Or I perceive it as that, which is not truly the case. It's just that I perceive it as that because most of my times I spent in my life are mostly alone. You know, I think one of the big things I'm afraid of being in a relationship is that I wouldn't be able to stay in one, mostly because I'm more concerned about the fact that I'll be alone again anyways at any point, because somebody could get bored or tired of me like every other friendship or relationship I had, and they could just be over. Because if I stopped putting in the effort, then they already weren't putting in too much effort, or that's what I perceived, because when I tried to reach out and talk to them, or tried to be out there and available for them, it always fell on deaf ears. And call me Danny Phantom, the way that I get ghost. I know I shouldn't be saying that as a joke, but that's how you cope. This is how I cope. I cope with my anger and my anxiety, my depression, by just being like, it's a joke, but it's also baked in realism. But people are gonna treat you like the undead anyways, whether you're a good person or a bad person. So I don't hold that too much to myself anymore. Genuinely. And I was thinking about if I wanted to try to date this year or try to ask people out on dates or spend more time with people. And it's up in the air because, again, that's another one that I have as not a thing that is completely necessary, but it's a bullet point that's on my list for this year. As you can tell, I'm clearly getting tired because I'm yawning a whole bunch and it's almost 9:30. I mean, we hit the half an hour point, but I still want to talk a little bit, so. But no, I guess if you guys really wanted to know, I'm not dating anybody or seeing anybody, and I haven't really felt that interested in a lot of people, except the people I've maybe met online and I've talked to, and I'm trying to be genuinely nice to and caring to. But I don't care if they don't want a relationship with me in the romantic sense, but I do care about their friendship and the fact that I am enriching their lives in a positive way. Like, I can accept living a life without having a spouse if I only know that I'm at least living a life where I'm enriching people's life for the positive rather than the negative. That's the only caveat. I can live my whole life with being alone and not having a spouse if it means that at least I'm still enriching people's lives and not taking my people and the people that I really do love and care about for granted. I love giving people freedom and I love making them have the freedom to choose whatever path they would like to walk. And if I can walk beside them, I would love to. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to ask or force anybody or want pity or sympathy from people who are being like, oh, well, if you don't have somebody, I can do it even though I don't want to. No, if you're going to love people and you want to have people in your life, it shouldn't ever come to a point of thinking about, man, it feels annoying to talk to this person today. Man, I really don't want to hang out and do stuff with this person. Man, why does it feel like it's a babysitting and a chore to be with this person? If you think any of those thoughts, then maybe it's time for you to take a step back from that relationship and reevaluate yourself. Because that's what I had to do with some of my relationships. Because I'm like, I felt disappointed in myself that certain people that I had, I don't feel the same unconditional love that I did for them. And again, it's not just in the romantic sense of, you know, ooh, the mushy love of being in a relationship, but no, just friendship and, being allies and like supporters of certain people. Last year was definitely one of the things where I had to stand up and put my foot down on certain occasions because I'm just tired of like, you know, pretending like everything that is going on in the world is normal and okay. Because genuinely speaking, I feel like a lot of people are missing the plot of what it means to be human, what it is to have empathy, and why kindness is something that can still afford you a happy life. You don't have to be a bad person to do the things that you want to do and still reach your goals. You don't have to step on other people to do that. But most people and also companies believe that you have to. So people buy into that more than, their actual knowledge that they can formulate in their own brain, being like, no, this isn't right. You shouldn't do this. Which is a lot of reason why, like this year especially, I've been going over to Twitch and helping out people with their Twitches, supporting them, subscribing to them, encouraging them, trying to show up for their streams, trying to tell them that I really enjoy being there and I appreciate them for being there. Because it's a very important thing. It's a small thing. It's a small thing. It's a very small thing that it's like you don't understand how much it actually means to you, I think, until you start making changes like that in your life. Because again, I know this is probably going to be called change or something for this first one, or changes, because a lot of life is just understanding that not everything stays the same. I thank God every day that I'm able to move on past things that may have afflicted me in the past and that held me back, including myself. I am my worst adversary when it comes to a lot of things, not because I try to be, but because I tell myself all the time that I don't deserve to be happy, and it only comes from a place of several different people in my life who basically made me feel like that and did not care about the consequences that would come from that. So needless to say, now that I've picked up most of the pieces, rearranged them in a new way to make a new outlook on life. And now I have moved on past certain things. I have deleted certain social medias. I have deleted myself and from my and presences of certain people, because at the end of the day, if those people really wanted me, they could still come out and try to reach out to me, but they aren't doing that. So I think I've accepted that. At least when I got to the end of last year and beginning into this year, I told myself it's time to let go of some things. Time to let go of some baggage. And just like how I thought I was going to have some big changes by moving out, which we're not doing now, I still wanted to make changes that would be healthier for me overall. No more allowing myself to be bogged down by people on Instagram, basically half people that I used to know that I'm like, I don't really care or associate anymore with. And none of them would miss me if I literally was gone, because they had. While I'm alive as a person, you should be able to tell me that you care about me. I don't want to hear when I'm already in the casket and I'm starting to float away back to God that you then suddenly realized you care. Because honestly, it would only be painful to me after death to hear all of these people come out of the woodworks and saying how much they cared. And I'm like, why couldn't you just say it before I'm gone? Now you have to live with regrets, and now I feel bad that you have to live with these regrets because you couldn't say so. But that's I guess, that's for another video entirely, I guess, or a podcast entirely. Mostly because it's heavy stuff. It's heavy stuff talking about some of the stuff that I want to talk about on here. Not all of it will be friendly, I'm not going to curse or anything, or not try to, at least. But, like, this is something I think I should do every month. Just detox and think about everything that happened. Like I said, this month so far, this beginning of the year in January, I think we've had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun moments. We did quite a few fun streams. I started meeting a lot of cool new streamer friends and people that I like associating with and talking to. And to me, I'm hoping that it can transfer over to, what am I looking for? Transfer over to my real life stuff, because I want to keep going back to bars and interacting with people. I want to get out in my community and see and meet new people. Because the thing is like, even though I do want a relationship, guys, Multi has been, for the longest time just putting a lot of his work before his people. And I really hate that, because it used to not be like that, but I started realizing, or at least putting priority towards my work, because I realized, I guess, the relationships I had with certain people did not feel like they were as authentic as I would have liked them to. So then I just stayed out of the way, because I'm like, I don't want to instigate any hate or any hatred or have any resentment or hold any grudges against people, because I don't care about that. I just want to maintain the peace, bring the love, bring the hope for the future, inspire people to be better than me when I was younger, because it's like, I know I have things that I've done in the past that I have mistakes on and that I've done. I think everybody does. And I can't say whether mine's the worst or less than other people's, But all I can say for myself is that I just didn't want what my past was to be me now. I can say for certain that I love looking back at my old works on YouTube, because I think those are nice period pieces to look at how much I've grown. But also sometimes it is painful to look back on certain things, because when I look at certain things, I'm like, dang, those people used to be in my life. I miss them, and I hope they're just still doing well. But, I won't ever know, because, even though I've tried to reach out to them and tried numerous times, sometimes they just fall on deaf ear, and that's just how it is. But I can't hate them or be angry at them, because like I said again, holding on to that sort of stuff doesn't allow you to move on and doesn't allow you to become better. And if these people really cared about you in this life of yours, even if they're not with you right now, I think the parts of them that you remember, and the good parts of them that you remember, and the parts of them that you cherish the most, would still be cheering you on to do your best, regardless if they're there for you or not. I like to believe that, and I like to have faith in that, because a lot of my life has been stemmed around that. And even if it does sound a little bit delusional, I don't think the memories and the things that we felt weren't real, The times that I've spent with people, the times that I laughed with people, the times that I cried with people, the times that I got angry with or for people. All of those are real things that I felt that I knew that I meant, even if nobody else meant them towards me. And I think that's a good way to like overall say that, right? I think that even though if they didn't believe that it was real what I was doing, I know in my heart that I did everything in my power to try to show and prove to them that I was being true, authentic, and transparent with people. I think one of my strongest things is that I have a lot of communication skills, a lot of empathy. I take a lot of accountability. I try to be accessible as much as possible, but I got stuff to do outside of it, just like everybody else. I like having a good emotional vibe and just being open for people, And I have a lot of commitment to the people I love and I care about. I tell people all the time, if I care about you, you'll see the difference between me if I care about you and if you don't. Because if I go out of my way to do a lot of stuff and think of getting stuff for people or just going out of my way to be like, yo, I did this for you because I really do care. That's just the bottom line. I didn't ask for anything in return because all of that I need genuinely now in my life is that I'm probably showing the picture on screen because I've actually been reading this manga that was called my my divorced neighbor, I believe is what it's called. Actually, I'll take a check because it's probably right here. Well, yeah, it's called my divorced crybaby neighbor. But even though the name sounds really cringe, and yes, I know it sounds a little bit cringe, and be like, Multi, why are you reading something like that? It's a romance manga that basically had a line in it that basically made me realize the type of person I am. That if you really wanted to ever give me any sort of anything, I don't need anything expensive. I don't need anything material. Literally, the thing that makes me feel the most happiness in life, it makes me feel the most emotional, has always been when somebody needs and cherishes me and says that I'm important to them. I don't hear it. I don't think I hear it a lot or enough, maybe, because I don't internalize it as easily as other people may internalize compliments and other things. And right now, I'm getting emotional thinking about it because, like I think I said before in my 500 subscriber video, I don't ever feel completely whole. I always feel like anytime I feel loved and warm, I feel like it's just something that is there to remind me to keep living more than I can really hold on to it and feel cherished with it, because there's so many people who have told me that they cared about me before that ended up not. But like I said, things change. People are changing. Times are changing. People have influences that are outside of me that I think I'm a positive influence on people, but sometimes I may not be the most positive influence on people who need certain people to be in their life. And I will say, before all of this, I used to be a yes man, and I'm not that anymore, because how does people you can't just be a yes man to people and hope that they change, because if you don't tell them that there are aspects of themselves that, at least they can reflect on and check on and give them perspective of why people may feel certain ways about what they do or how their actions could affect other people, then sometimes they don't learn. And that's, I think, a very important thing. Because there's a lot of stuff like that I'm trying to do for myself. Because there's a lot of stuff that I would say and that could be wild about and just be completely unhinged on this channel. I think about that every day, especially because of a person that we know as Desmond or Etika that passed away back in 2019, I believe. Man, I miss that man so much sometimes, because I realized I guess he rubbed off on me in a way that I'm just like, I just want to carry on a legacy of a person who definitely was trying his hardest to find the best way to make people happy and make people excited for life. There's a lot of people out there who want to do that and are scared to, because they know that this world only, the people who do a lot of the stuff and tell you a lot of these things about how to make your life matter, how do you get this and how do you get that guaranteed, because people always talking guaranteed like there's a one trick solution for everything, but there's never is. Rarely is there ever a one-trick solution for everything, unfortunately. There are some things that you can do in life that are very beneficial and very helpful, and that will carry you a long way. But it's more just finding what works for you. For me right now, it's me doing a YouTube channel and doing YouTube streams, doing Twitch streams and connecting for people online. That's really working for me. Also trying to get back out there in the community and trying to like live a life that isn't just a hermit under a rock. It works. I know it works. I love being able to go outside and just run and just be able to enjoy myself. Sometimes I don't have a conversation with people all that often, but I'm trying to make more of an effort to connect with other people because networking is a very important thing in my heart that I want to keep doing. I want to be an impact and a ripple effect that changes this world for the better, whether it's online or in real life. I do want genuinely to have people who are younger than me know that they had people who were actively still trying to look out for the best possible outcome for the future for them. Because even if I personally, okay, I had to take a breath while I said this because I was about to start probably crying, but I'm going to say it again. Because even I don't really care about what happens to me for the rest of my life now. I've already been satisfied with the stuff I've already been had in life. I've lived 1/4 of my life, and I want to live like the other 3/4. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to keel over and die today. That's not the point. But I care more about people's futures who are younger than me and who are going to be taking on the responsibility of this world after me. Like a lot of people who are currently alive, who are older than me, don't really see or care about that for a lot of the people who are younger than me or around my age or trying to up and come and to try to take over the world that was left to us, even though most of it is a mess and mangled and really doesn't benefit a lot of us who are kind of struggling here. Which is why I'm trying to make a conscious effort with whatever little bit I can do. I want to make sure that I'm giving to those people in the future that I know that will change the world for the better. Because I'm like, I may end up being too old to be able to see the world change for the better, but I want people to remember and to know there is hope as long as you work together and use the power of friendship. The power of friendship and bonds. Those things will carry you very far. I love Fairy Tail the anime because that whole thing is romancing the idea of being connected, no matter if you are a true blood family or you're found family through people who are all misfits just like yourself. That is an important thing. You can always find people to connect with. Don't limit yourself by saying that nobody will ever connect with you. There are people out there who are currently still waiting for you to respond to a message that they sent you, a while ago and still waiting to hear back from you. There are people who are still willing to be patient with, even though you're trying to occupy yourself and be busy with doing all these other things to try to better yourself, they still want to be in your life and enrich it. And this goes for me as well. There's a lot of people here on this YouTube and on the Twitch who are probably listening to this right now and either getting teary-eyed or misty-eyed because I'm finally expressing some of this stuff that I haven't been keeping bottled up per se, because I've been talking to myself about it for a long time, but more just acknowledging now that more than ever I'm okay admitting it out in the public and being okay with being emotional on an even greater platform than probably I should. But, I think that's what makes this great, because I hope that every time I come back every month for this, I have something new to talk about. It may not always be interesting, it might not always be fun, sometimes it might be hard and maybe difficult, because depending on how the months go, we can't determine everything in life, but we can sure try to make the best out of what we got. But I know I've been rambling, and I honestly am surprised I got past 30 minutes. But if for anybody who's still listening at this point, thank you so much for listening, genuinely. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep to my routines of exercising, making sure I keep my positives up, try to continue growing as an individual and figuring out what new skill I want to learn. I'm still going to try to keep up with doing this every month until, I don't know, I either get tired of YouTube or I finally settle down and then have a kid and say, okay, well, the YouTube thing isn't going to work now, so sorry guys, I got to take care of the young one, but that will probably still be like several years away. But yeah, thank you very much everybody for listening. If you have, I do really appreciate all of you, my lovely childs of the internet. I love watching you grow and evolve and becoming your own people and enjoying a new sense of life and accomplishment that you've earned after surviving a pandemic and still wanting to further yourself for the future. And again, even if we have to say goodbye and even if we have to walk separate roads, just know that us at the Chow Garden and me as an individual will always be cheering you on somewheres within the deepest parts of your heart. And I hope you guys have a lovely one, and ciao ciao. Until next time.